Yes, good evening, people. It's a late night show. Sorry, a few minutes late. It's my Wi-Fi. If you lot have seen the stream before, you know technical difficulties always come on my side. But it's me, Gumsa. We got Lex in the building. It's the Man United
Yes.
preview. Let's do this. Yes, people. Good evening. Hope you're
Yeah.
all well. It's the Armoury TV. We got Lex in the building. What are you saying, bruv?
Yes. What are you saying, Gumsa? You're good.
I
I'm
can't.
all right. Not can't
Yeah, I ain't see.
complain.
It's good to see you again. We ain't seen you for a little while on the Armory. How's things been your side?
Yeah. Nah, things have been all right. I was just saying before, in the backstage, just it's just summer. It's just like literally season started early. Just been kind of busy, but you know what? Obviously, I'm still just got another eye on obviously on the Arsenal. So and obviously the great shows that we've been doing. So yeah, no, I'm glad to kind of get back. Feel like I've just been on a sub bench, but now I'm back on first team. You know what I mean? I'm back here.
I love
I'm
that.
back.
I love that. I love that. And how are you feeling about everything? Like, obviously, we've gone 5-0 and such. So 5 games, 5 wins.
Yeah.
Complete turnaround from what we was this time last year. So, what's your thoughts on it all? Like, you happy with what you're seeing? Obviously, transfer window closed, no signings. You kind of concerned about that, or where's your head at?
Listen, it's there's a couple of things to unpack, but overall, I can't complain because at the end of the day, we've played 5 games. We can only beat who's in front of us. There's a lot of rival fans that have been chatting, saying, "You look, you ain't faced no one big yet." Blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, we can only get the points off the team that we face, and those
Hmm.
teams that's been talking have dropped points against the teams that we face. So I don't see anyone talking about that. But on that point, on what's going on the pitch, I can't complain. Do you know what I mean? New signings, Jesus coming in, doing his thing, raise the levels. Shizenko, he's come in again. You know, a little bit of difference in the team, especially in that position compared to Tierney. Um, so overall, can't complain. Obviously, the injuries that we've had in the field, but you know what? This look, take it game by game. We got obviously the big game on a Sunday, which we're going to talk about more about. But overall, can't complain. End of the day, we're top of the league. What is it to complain about? Do you know what I mean?
I hear that.
What about
I
you,
hear
Gumza?
that. Impressed. Everything on the pitch, being very impressed. Um, Shinchenko coming in and start of the season, people were saying they would still start with Tierney if both are fit, and I was saying, nah. What I saw Sinchenko in that preseason game against Sevilla is different. It
Mm,
just looks different, and for him to come in and almost change everyone's perspective in 2 games, like not saying Tierney's a bad player, and I don't think anyone said that, and so people might take
yeah,
this out of context. He's not a bad player, but it just looks different with him, and it's the same with Jesus up front. Like we've had Abba, who scored a lot of goals, joint top goal scorer one year, got the golden boot.
yeah.
Lacazette for his work rate and whatever else contributed. But with Jesus, it just looks different again. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of
Different
showing us a bit
energy,
of what
isn't
we've
it?
been missing, and the level, isn't it? And this
Yeah,
is what it's about when you like bring players in. They've got to up the level as such. So um,
definitely.
I still think there's a few positions we can probably do that in, where we can bring a player in who's going to make us better. But as I said, I can't complain with what I'm seeing at the moment. It'd be nice to start seeing some of these other guys like Marquinhos, Fabio Vieira, and I think in Europe we will see those guys play. Um, so I'm excited with how things are going on the pitch. Off the pitch, I think we could have just one player would have helped on deadline day, but
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
we've got to work with this now, innit? You can't turn back time. So I do just hope we get through this period up to the World Cup and still in, do you know what I mean, a good position. But touching on what you said earlier, you made some very good points about other teams talking about like
Mm.
who we played against, and do you know what I mean? Oh, you meant to beat them teams, and like you
Listen,
said,
they're one in their mouth. You know, you talk about the what's it called? The celebration police and everything. They, you know what? You could tell you're doing something right if you start your haters are start coming out of the woodwork. Do you know what I mean?
for real,
You
it is funny
know
because
things are going
no,
right.
do you know it's funny because everyone's got an excuse. If City are winning, it's the money thing. If Chelsea are doing
Yeah,
well, it's the money thing. If Liverpool are doing well, it is what it is. People would say, but it's like no one don't want to see Arsenal come back. Do you know what I mean? Because again, we probably are doing it the right way. Even United now are throwing big money at this thing. So like it's yeah, it's one thing being on top. But if people have got an excuse to say, well, Man City just buy the league, like no credit where credit's due. If Arsenal do get back to something half decent, we've done it the hard way. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it
yeah.
seems like everyone's
We've
looking
been
for our
getting that.
downfall at the moment.
We've been getting that before the season started. You know, when we got Jesus and
Mm.
Zinchenko saying, "Oh, we got dead. Man City's dead wood and
The
everything."
reject, yeah,
Yeah, the rejects and all of this. Listen, look, they they have had involved so much. You know, they made a big change. They won four titles. Well, Jesus has won 4 titles. You can't be saying these guys are rejects. And look,
yeah,
they're showing levels. Do you know what I mean? So
100%, 100%. Long may it continue in it. But let's
that,
go into this game because I feel more than the points. Obviously, it's nice to get 3 points, but I think just to prove a point of actually saying this team is for real, we can come to these big teams and win. And again, shut everyone up because the whole talk has been you haven't played no one, even though big teams have dropped points against Fulham. Palace is giving people right run for their money. Um,
yeah.
but to go to Old Trafford and get a win, I said more than the 3 points, the statement it sends out is the big thing. How important is this game in terms of getting the 3 points, like, and what it says to opposition and the naysayers as such? What would this do for you to go to Old Trafford and get a win here?
Listen, I mean, this game is always important. No matter where we are in the season, this game, from a fan perspective, is always, if you talk about the top games that I'm looking at in the season, I'm looking at Tottenham and looking at United. Do you know what I mean? That's
Mm.
from a fan's perspective, this game is massive. It's always massive,
Yeah,
no matter where we are in the season. And yeah, just to touch on what you said, it's almost like you're just putting a stamp out there. If you get those, go to Old Trafford, get those 3 points, and it just shows that look, we've moved on from last season. We've actually progressed even to a higher level than what people think we may not be able to do, or expectations, etc., from other people, other commentators and whatever fans, etc. And you just putting a mark out there to the likes of even the Liverpools and the cities to show, what, we're here. Do you know what I mean?
mm.
So it's massive. And the thing is, okay, look, United are getting a little bit of form, but they won 3 games off the bounce. But let's not forget that it wasn't that long ago that they lost 4-0 to Brentford. And we, from where we are, we're a step ahead of where United are, and it just means that we need to show that in the picture. Just say, look, we are definitely a step ahead. Go to Old Trafford, brush the man up there. You know what I mean, and get those 3 points. Come back to London,
As,
same again. Do you know what I mean? Business as usual.
yeah,
So yeah,
as Kevin Campbell would say, "Brack them up, boy." That's what
yeah,
that's what
man.
it
Brush
should
them
be
up,
in it.
man.
We gotta put a stamp down. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, for me, again, I'll be real. And Mondy's in the building. Hope you're well, Monday. He said, "Great matchup. You may be a big tree, but we got the small axe ready to cut you down." Um, it's one of them ones. It's
Maybe doing a
not
lot
they
of
kind of got
cutting
nothing to
with
lose.
that small axe.
Yeah, for real. It's this game's kind of win-win for you. It's win-win for United. I feel like they could probably get beat and put in a good performance. Just say they put in a
Yeah.
half decent performance and get beat. They haven't really got. They're not stressed about it because it's a new manager, loads of new players coming in, so it's a building step for them. We kind of had that opportunity. We've had 3 years. This is Arteta's 3rd season, so it's time we've got to start delivering. So I think United are going into this, not saying underdogs, but a bit more comfortable. Again, they beat Liverpool this season, so it shows they can beat a big team. We've got to now go and prove that we can deal with a matter like this. So I think United are in a more comfortable position. So I think all the pressure is on Arsenal. I really do. And from what we saw last year, we didn't deal with the pressure too well. So yeah, I'm hoping this is the difference in mentality. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, we've come from behind, we've won games, but it's going into a game like this, knowing actually we've got to be on the front foot.
I feel it's a different kind of pressure, though. I don't know if you get this feeling because the way the season started, especially in the last 2 games that we played against Fulham and Aston Villa, going a goal down, I feel like last season, especially towards the end of the season, that kind of pressure was almost like everyone's saying to you, it's like, everyone's telling you, look, you're no good. And if everyone's telling you you're no good, you either crumble or you step up. Where this kind of pressure is like, show them you're good. You're actually good. Now show them. Keep that consistency. So it's almost a different kind of pressure. I don't know if you get that feeling, but that's how I feel. It's almost a different kind of pressure. And I feel like that can come in our favor, especially if you've got the players like Jesus and Zinchenko, where they've been at certain grounds like that at City and have gone in there and they've got a result. And I think even if we go a goal down, it's not like we're going to crumble. So that's my feeling. I feel I don't know if I'm just a bit too optimistic but I get a different kind of feeling.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, and I just think for all the times we've been on good form, and it's United that seem to beat us. Like, it always seems to be them who get the, do you know what I mean, put the L on us, and
always them.
A minimum in this game. Again, there's been times where I say, do you know, if we go Old Trafford and put in a good performance, and I say it against Liverpool and City now, do you know, if we go Anfield and get beat 2-1 and put in a good show, I don't mind that at the moment. We're not with them guys, but this one here, we just can't lose. I'm setting myself targets when I'm looking at games, and I'm saying, can we get to the Liverpool game without losing, which includes Man United and Tottenham in there. So this is a game. If you give me a draw now, I'll bite your hand off and take it and say move on. Like, I'll be honest, it's not. Yeah, you want to go and win these games, but the most important thing for us is don't lose. But I don't think we can go in with that mentality of trying to draw.
Yeah, definitely. No.
I think we have to go in with the mentality. We got to win this.
Yeah.
So
definitely got to go in.
I've got faith in them. But again, I think the interesting part of this dynamic is United are on the back of 3 wins. Liverpool, Southampton, and Leicester. We're on the back of 5. However, we're starting to pick up a few injuries, and I think and United are bringing new players in. So probably expecting to see Casemiro start on Sunday. I'm not too sure if Anthony is going to be available, if Martial's back. But it seems like their squad's improving. I'm not saying our squad's weakening, but our first 11 is definitely weaker without Partey. And then obviously got El Nene missing equally after the game on Wednesday. It sounds like Ødegaard is carrying a knock, and so is Ramsdale. So that could be 4 crucial, and Zinchenko's out. So that could be 5 really important players out for us. I think Zinchenko is going to miss, but not too sure on Ødegaard. So Silver Fox has put this up. This is what he thinks our 11 would be. Potentially if Ødegaard and Ramsdale are missing. So he's gone Turner in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel Tierney, Sambi Lokonga, Xhaka, Smith Rowe, Saka, Jesus, Martinelli. Where do you sit with that?
Ramsdale definitely picked up a knock.
I think Ramsdale will be okay, if I'm honest. But I think even if Ramsdale's 70-80%, he plays for me. I don't put in Turner in this game.
Because he carried on after it looked like he was not, he had a little bit of knock,
and he was still
getting confidence.
And he was still kicking. like he was kicking
Yeah,
far. Do you know, it wasn't like
yeah,
he just played
kicking,
short. He was still
exactly.
striking the ball. And if that's your hamstring, you're striking the ball like that, like he must be okay. So I'm pretty sure he's okay. Odegaard would be interesting to see. But would you be happy with Smith Rowe in that 10 position, or would you be looking to bring someone else in, maybe a Fabio Vieira, or maybe put Ben White in midfield and then play Odegaard, Sambi and Xhaka in front of him, and Tommy Tomiyasu start right back? What would you be looking to do if you was
I
Arteta?
mean, yeah. So if Odegaard is not fit, I said it in the preview show against the for the Aston Villa match that I don't want to see Ben White playing in that kind of defensive midfield kind of role. And it's nothing against
Yeah,
him. It's more the fact that look, we didn't try it in pre-season, and also a game in this kind of magnitude, I wouldn't really want to see him in that position. And I think even though he's good on the ball, he's a little bit too slow for me in regards to the passing. I think if you're in that kind of position, you a little bit more slicker with the passing, which obviously Partey gives us. You know, he just keeps the ball moving, and I think Lukonga showed glimpses of that against Aston Villa, to be honest, because I think he played all right. He showed glimpses that he's always looking for that forward pass where you know, if you had the likes of El Neni, if he was fit, he's you know, it's safe. It's you know, it's you know what you get with El Neni. But with Lukonga, I think he gives us that little bit more forward kind of passing. However, the one thing is kind of awareness in his defensive kind of aspects of his game, which is a little bit lacking. That intensity to kind of pick up pockets of spaces where the opposition's got the ball, especially in our half, and he's not really there to kind of close it down or kind of stop those passing lanes. And that's the one thing that I think Xhaka, with his experience, even though I know that people would talk about Xhaka, and I'm not saying Xhaka to play in that position, but I'm saying with his experience, you know, he would be there to kind of cover, and also Odegaard. But if Odegaard is there, it's not there. Obviously, it's a massive miss. It's a massive loss if Odegaard
yeah,
is not starting. And Smith Rowe, I feel like he's slowly kind of getting there, but it's weird because he's almost like the forgotten man, Smith Rowe. If you know what I mean. I mean, you know, I feel like going up to this part of last season, he was getting he was in the first team, getting the goals, getting assists. He was a man on fire, and I think since the latter part of last season, he's almost and not going into this season. It's almost like where do you fit him? Because you know it's almost like if a position pops up in attacking third, and we need a backup, okay, put Smith Rowe in there, but if it's the first team and
yeah,
everyone's fit, I don't know where he's going to fit. But
yeah,
yeah, I wouldn't put Ben White in there. I would stick to what we have, and I probably wouldn't put Vera in. I probably would put Smith Rowe in, but that's the team that I would play, to be honest. What about you?
yeah. I agree with you. I think, yeah, I totally agree. I think Lukonga did nothing wrong against Villa, so I would give him another go.
Yeah,
Xhaka has to play, and this is an important game. Like he's
yeah,
got to show the leadership, and help Sambi Lukonga. We've seen Xhaka's been better, like doing his work further up the pitch and off the
mm,
ball runs and do you know what I mean, joining the attacks. And I don't want him to actually change that game against United. I think we need to go at United. However, he does need to also help, and I think he's done that really well this season. He has got back and forth, up and down on the pitch. So, and yeah, same as you're saying, if Odegaard is injured, then it's got to be Smith Rowe. Um, and I think Smith Rowe needs to lock down a position.
yeah,
And I'll be looking for him to do
definitely.
that. And so if he can put in a good performance in the 10, and I'm not too sure if you saw some of the images going around after the documentary came out. Some people obviously, when Arteta and Edu were talking in one of the rooms, I think one of the offices, there was a board up and it had players' names in position, so he could
I
see who
heard
was
about
where,
that.
like, and what his plan was. Yeah, what his plan was for next season. So in the striker position, he had no names there, and that was obviously Lacazette. Eddie was leaving at that
Yeah,
time, and obviously Eddie then earned his new contract. But in the 10, it actually had on the left it had Martinelli by himself. On the right, it had Saka and Pepe, and then in the 10, it had Odegaard and Smith Rowe. So they obviously see Smith Rowe as a central player long term, but obviously when you're young, you get your minutes out wide sometimes, don't you? And then you
yeah.
transition into the middle. So yeah, I think it's natural for ESR to go and play it ahead of Vieira. However, I did listen to one, I think it was Turkish was talking, and he said
Oh
sometimes
yeah,
actually it's good to throw young boys in there who are untested because you see it a lot where a player makes his name off the back of a debut against a really big team, and it's like you shouldn't play him in this game. And he mentioned Rashford against Arsenal, come on, scored, well, started and scored two. I remember what's the guy called who plays for Newcastle? Centre midfield's brother plays as well. Longstaff,
oh
the
yeah,
younger
yeah.
one.
He scored against
He made
United
it United
at
on his debut.
Newcastle
Yeah,
ground. Yeah. I
yeah.
remember that
You know what I
that
mean?
game.
And there's probably a host of players who have, do you know what I mean, young players or new. And Isaac started the other day against Liverpool and scored. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he
His
scored a
first
good
game for
goal.
Newcastle and almost scored. Should have had, well, almost got two. He's just offside with the second one, weren't he? So sometimes
So
you
what
do
you
have to throw
saying,
these guys into the
Fabio
limelight.
Vieira in there then?
Do you know? I
Is that what
wouldn't be
you
opposed to it, but I still will say Smith Rowe just because I feel he deserves it off the back of what he did last year. Smith Rowe was like, I think it's like you said, he's forgotten about man. I think everyone's forgotten what he did do last year. Like
saying?
up until Christmas, he was our player of the season. Um, so it'd
Because
be nice to see
he
him
would be coming off the bench as well and coming and scoring the goals.
bagging. Yeah,
Yeah, still getting
yeah,
the goals. I think if it is true that Odegaard is definitely not going to be fit and Smith Rowe does come in, he needs to show he comes in and take his opportunity. Because at the end of the day, I'm sure he's aware that look, he's probably looking at that team and thinking, all right, okay, that the players like Pepe's left, but where do I fit? You know, Saka's got his position cemented. Martinelli looks like he's got his position cemented. Obviously, you got this Jesus and Nketiah up front, and then Odegaard is the captain, so he's looking in there and thinking, all right, when I get a chance, I need to show what I've got, and
yeah,
hopefully that is a push to say, you know, if he does fit in for Odegaard, that he comes in and shows what he's got at the end of the day. And there's no better game really out there. There's not many better games out there to show that, you know,
mm,
the impact that you've got. So hopefully you'll be able to do that. But obviously it's a massive loss at the end of the day. Odegaard is
yeah,
not fit.
definitely. Another, so I think most of the team kind of picks itself if they fit. I think it picks itself. I think there's in one position at the moment where it might be a bit of a toss up, and one touch has come in and said he starts Tomiyasu.
You know,
Um,
I was going to literally touch
so,
onto that, you know.
so who would you go with in this game? Would you start with Tomiyasu on the right, or would you say Ben White's done enough to keep his shirt at the moment?
You know what? Tomiyasu is knocking on that door, you know. And
He was good the
when
other
he
day when he
came,
came on.
yeah. When Ben White came off and Tomiyasu came on, it reminded, I'm sure it reminded loads of fans out there, look, listen, Tomiyasu is a player. Do you know what I mean? Look, I'm fit. Do you know what I mean? So, and also one thing as well you don't forget is with having a proper right back in position, I think it frees up Saka as well
Do you know what?
because
I had this
with
conversation on
having
Wednesday.
Ben White playing at right back, I don't want to take anything away from Ben White because I think he's he's done a job, and we've got the 5 rings, and you can't really put any blame on him because he's coming and he's done a job, and the day he's done what Arteta's asked him to do. But having Tomiyasu in there adds a little bit of a different dimension, and
Mm,
I would love to see Tomiyasu and Zinchenko playing at the same time, you know, starting because I think that kind of different, kind of fluid in from the back to the midfield and the final third. You know, there's so much you can do with that, and I feel like with Saka, you've seen teams already just double up on him, and I think Tomiyasu creating that little additional space for him allows him to do what we always used to see Saka do, especially last season. So I still, you know what, I still stick with Ben White, but I think is it the next game is against Everton. I think I'll stick Tommy in that game, to be honest. But how about you?
And again, we have got Europe coming. So
yeah. We've got Europe coming. What about you? What's your thoughts?
There's gonna have to be some rotation. I said Ben White's done nothing wrong. For me, he's been solid. Yes, he lacks a little bit going forward, but at the same time, away from home at Old Trafford, it's a nice dilemma to have. Physically, both are good. Again, Sancho's in a bit of good form, but he's had to face Zaha and done really well against Zaha. So Sancho doesn't really scare me like Zaha does. Do you know what I mean? So I've got no issues with Ben White being out there. However, I agree with you. Tomiyasu offers that little bit extra going forward. Again, the overlap just creates a bit more space for Saka to work in. But again, it's not a bad sub to kind of do at 50, 60 minutes, depending on what the game's doing. If you want to increase the attack, even though you're bringing on a right back, actually, what that does going forward could be really good. So,
one thing I want to add is that United, it may change when Anthony starts starting for United, but United play. I've noticed they're playing a little bit with more of an inverted kind of fullbacks,
right?
Instead of kind of the fullbacks who kind of overlap. And I think if we still had Ben White in there, then I think that kind of plays in our kind of favour. If United are still playing with that kind of inverted fullback kind of system, then someone that's kind of overlapping and having that someone like Anthony who's cutting in, even though Anthony won't play it on his side, but if you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's Mr. B's in the building. He said he's looking forward to this one. As I said, United go into this with no pressure. If they lose, it doesn't really make a difference to their season. Like, not saying they've written their season off, but their objectives of what our objectives were last year or the year before. Do you know what I mean? It's a rebuild, new manager. You haven't got off to the best start. You're meant to come here and beat us. So they're in a great position in this game. They can kind of sit back knowing all the pressure is on Arsenal. And if they are the ones to beat us, I can't even imagine. I can't. So, yeah, Arsenal, please. Like, I'll be honest. This is the one game. This game makes me more nervous than any other game. Like, it's weird. It's a weird feeling. Like playing United and I think it's because obviously
I'm playing at Old Trafford as well.
Yeah,
it's like no matter what team you know, it could be a completely brand new 11, and they haven't played at United before at Old Trafford, or at least with Arsenal, and it just feels different. It's just always, no matter what form United is in. I mean, last season United was in the dumps when we played. I mean, you couldn't pick any better time to play them, and you're thinking,
Fred ran all over us.
Do you know what I mean? Just brush, man. It'll just be simple, and we go up there and we lose, and so it's just like, it doesn't matter what. It feels like form kind of goes out the window.
Yeah, it does. Form goes out the window in this. Definitely does. Like,
you don't know what's gonna happen.
It's ingrained, isn't it? I think it's ingrained in both clubs. Like, regardless of what's happened since the Wenger and Fergie days, like a lot's happened in there. Both teams have fallen off. But again, for our eras, like, there's no bigger. Yes, Tottenham are our local rivals, and yes, we know United have Liverpool and City up there, but they can't tell me what they're doing. There's something about this game here. They're going to have a little arrogance about it. I mean, I care when you lot come Old Trafford, there's lashes, blah, blah, but they probably hate losing to Arsenal more than any other team. I don't care what anyone says. Like, especially most of their fans, because most of their fans are down in London anyway, innit? So, you know, most of their fans are down in London with us, innit? So it's like, they ain't got to worry about dealing with Man United, Man City and Liverpool fans, because they don't see them, because they're down south, you lot of United fans. So, yeah, they definitely hate. It's the same thing, isn't it?
This is a big game, you know what I mean? It's a big rivalry. As I said, back in the day, it used to be just us two, you know what I mean? And so yes, we not saying levels where it's just us two again. But listen, this is a massive game. It's always a good feeling if you beat United. I'm always got a smile on my face. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's just ever a little bit sweeter if we was to beat him, especially after the one that we had. Just to put certain people to bed in the sense of like, oh yeah, you look who you face. You only face so and so. You face Leicester and they're at the bottom, and you face Fulham. You just come up and listen.
Yeah.
Just to hush their gums and just like, look, listen.
I can't. I hope. Listen, if we beat them, man. But again, it is that game. It's a game of Arsenal. You're not who you think you are, or United. Listen, that was just 3 games of luck. Like get back in your hole, innit? Like this is what this game is. To be fair, and do you know what? Always, sometimes you put yourself in the spotlight of them players and watching the documentary, like when Saka and Smith Rowe were talking about the Tottenham game and how it must feel to score. Like I'm talking about this now, and my belly here is churning, and so I can only imagine what them boys are going through in that dressing room. Do you know what I mean? Like actually, you put yourself in their shoes right now, like the day before preparing for it, your night sleep. Like I got a friend who played, and he would say before a big game, couldn't sleep. After a game, if they lost, he's not sleeping. Like, and even sometimes after, especially if it's an evening game, he's in the group chat talking at all 3 a.m, talking to himself half the time because everyone else is sleeping. But so the adrenaline going through these guys must be crazy. So, Mr. B's here. He's in fine voice today. I ain't heard from him in a little while.
The thing Arteta knows about this
Mr.
game
B's saying,
well.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
You know what this means.
Eric Hantag is just literally he's just come here first season. Do you know what I mean? He obviously he knows, he's heard about it. But listen, Arteta's played in this game, so if you can't get the players up for it, I don't know who can. But listen, this is serious. This is serious. Show them, look, we're here. Do you know what I mean? We mean business. In business, not just talk about trying to fight for top 4. We mean business. We're back to where we should be.
Hold on. This guy, he's active. Mr. B's active. He must be feeling good after their 3 wins, boy. He must be, because before this, when I was trying to talk to him in the streams, man was cutting me short and not talking to me. So, Mr. B, that's what he said.
What do you think?
What do you think of Arteta saying it's just another game? That's how he rates you, man, isn't it? He just looks at you like you're one of the 5 that we already beat, innit? That's how he sees you, man, now, isn't it? But I think he's just obviously playing it down. Again, we do have quite a young team, so he ain't gonna want to heap any more pressure on them. But if we set up right, and again, we have been dominating games, even though United have been winning. I haven't seen them. The Liverpool game, they did look good. I'll be honest in that one. The Southampton game, I think Southampton kind of set up to counter-attack, but once United scored, Southampton beat them up. And a bit like how Palace dealt with us, even though we won 2-0, Palace controlled a lot of that game and put pressure on us. But the Leicester game, it was pretty standard. So I haven't seen enough from United to say they scare me like that, but it's Old Trafford and it's Arsenal United, so anything can happen, innit? But going into it, I do think we should control the tempo of the game and dictate the play. It's just whether they hit us on the counter, really. I think that's what we've got to be careful for, is just that pace going. I don't mean defending that pace, but apart from that, then why soft, boy? So I think it'd be lovely to beat this new look United. Like, obviously, they haven't lost since they've taken out Shaw and Maguire. Ronaldo. So it would be nice to beat them with Varane and Martinez in the team and Malacia and show them actually, you're a bit better without Shaw and Maguire, but you still can't test. So man, it's gonna be firework. It's gonna be firework.
Wait, I'm looking forward to
Rock the neck, as Kevin Campbell says. So let's get into predictions. What's your prediction for this? So, Mr. B, I want your prediction as well. But what's your prediction for Sunday's
predictions? Boy, predictions. It's a little bit of a tricky one because I don't know if certain players are going to be fit or not. Like Ødegaard, for example. But predictions, I feel like we may concede. But it's either 2-1 or 3-2 for me.
Really?
Yeah, I think it could go that way, and I'll say I think we'll concede, but I think we can get those 3 points. So you know what? I'm gonna go for 3-2. Go for 3-2.
All right. Mr. B saying 2-1 United if Anthony starts 3-1 United. Them boy
Hey,
there, boy. Friday night, you know what he's drinking tonight, boy.
do
Mr.
you know
B
what I
Friday
mean?
night takeaway guy. Yeah,
Listen,
boy.
he only got
But
6
nah,
goals in that Farmers League. So you know, we talking about Anthony coming and
I like his energy. I love his energy. But I'll be honest, I think I'm hoping we go at them from the start. I hope we start fast. I don't want to see anything else but us go at United. I think we need to. We've been playing that way and it's working for us. So don't change anything. Like even people talk about go back into a double pivot with Xhaka sitting deeper or go to a 5 at the back. I wouldn't change a thing. I would go at them. I would go straight at them. And I think if everything points to a tight 1-0 if we was to win this game, because we very rarely score more than one at Old Trafford if we win. Like we've won, I think 2-1. I think we won in the cup a few years ago. Apart from that, it's been 1-0, like ABBA 1-0 and stuff like that. So you think if we win, it's going to be a close one, but I don't think it will be. I'm going to sit here and say with chest, I think we brushed them up. And I'm going diplomatic 2-0, but I think it could be 3-0 to Arsenal.
3-0.
I really do.
Okay.
I think it could be 3-0.
Listen,
I think it could be 3-0. I think we're going to brush them up. I think we're actually going to brush them up properly. Like, we're coming at you. We're coming. I'm here, Mr. B. I think we're coming at you. I think we're
coming for you. Coming for you.
Yeah,
This Sunday.
I think we're going to. It's a real, again, do you know what? It's almost like I'd rather us go at them and get beat and go out them rather than try and sit in there and keep it tight and nick a 1-0 or 2-1. And even if we get a draw, like I want to see us beat the intent. You know, when you see Liverpool play City and when you come out of that game, you're just like, that's the 2 best teams in the league. Regardless who win, loses, or draw, that's the 2 best teams and they go toe to toe. I need to see that from us. So, Mr. B saying if we sit in and be patient, we take the point. Yeah, but that's part of our game. Us going at you is controlling the game. Like you watch some teams that we suffocate you. You don't have, when I say go at you, I mean when you get the ball back, we're coming at you. Like the new Arsenal, we're pressing high up. There is a time when we do drop in and look after, and we've got what I think we do well. We've got very different phases of play depending on how the game's panning. If it's allowing to sit in, we're comfortable doing that. If we need to high press, we're very comfortable doing it. But I think we will relinquish the possession to us. I think we have been dominating games like that, and I can't see it. And it's been like that playing Old Trafford a while. We always have possession, we always have the chances, and they just counter and beat us. So
yeah.
But our defense now looks a bit more sturdy. It looks like it can handle that a bit better. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm coming at them like full force, boy. I need to see some man upset, guys. That's all I need to see. Now I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I think they said there's only 2 games that get me like this. I'm going with 3, but there's only 2 games that get me like this. It's United and Tottenham, right? That's the only 2 games that get me like this. Like, it's different, but
it's big games.
As I said, yeah. But I said at minimum, all we got to do is the draw. Come out of that. And it draws nice in this game. To be fair, if we do take a draw, we've done the work in the previous 5 games to allow us to take this draw and still say, yeah, we're sitting good. Do you know what I mean? You know, sometimes you go into, I think last season we're going into the Chelsea game and that, and it's like we've got to win. There's no other, do you know what I mean, thing about it. It's good to do the work early, get the points on the board that we have to get on there. If we had drawn one of them other games, we now look at it like, look, we've got to win this one. Whereas we can't actually take a draw, because if we do draw with United, that means they haven't gained 2 points on us or 3 points on us there. Right, do you know what I mean? The gap's the same. So, yeah, if we can get through this one unscathed, like, I'll take a draw happily, to be fair. But, brought them up.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. Hey, who are you going for goal scorers?
Goal scorers. Oh, you're going there. Okay, goal scorers. As I say, I'd love to see Jesus, especially, you know, that the fact that he came from City. and he's come to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I love to see him to score there, just to kind of send a message to the fans. It would be an extra little sweetener.
Yeah.
I'm saying we're both saying 3 goals. So I'm saying Jesus. I'm saying Jesus for 2, and then for the third one, you know what? If Smith Rowe does start, let me give one to Smith Rowe. Yeah,
I wouldn't mind that.
if he does start,
I would love for Saka. Yeah, I would love for Saka to score in this game, just because I think Saka.
It'll mean a lot to him. It'll mean a lot to him.
Yeah, and a lot of what's said is it's a lot of comparisons with Saka and Sancho. That's all the comparisons you hear. So I would like for him to score in this one. He hasn't been as bad as people have made out just because he hasn't scored. People are making out he's had a bad season so far. I don't think he has at all. So it'd be nice for him to get one in this game. And another Shaka Thunderbolt, just to you know. I'll take anything, to be fair. I'll take anything. Mr. B saying Sancho 2, Anthony 1. This guy's got a lot of chat, boy.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Next time I'll come off the stream, because me and you will meet soon, Mr. B.
Listen,
me and you will meet soon. I'll be real.
Mr. B needs to be on that post-match review, boy.
Yeah, for real. And I'll be honest, I'm gonna say it now, Mr. B, so you don't think I'm hiding. I'm going to France on Sunday, so I'm not going to be on any streams, but I think I'm back from France next Friday. So if you need a guest for your Friday night takeaway, I'm there next Friday. So I'm putting it out there from now. If you want to see me next Friday, Mr. B, you can see me. Just let me know. You got my number. Hit me up, bro. I'm back from France Friday afternoon. So evening, I'm there. But yeah, man, it's all love. It's all love. I got love. United Agenda, you lot are really doing your thing at the moment, man. Amazing to see. And yeah, bigger them up. They was on BT Sports. They had a little segment on one of the BT Sports shows. They're really doing their thing this year. So yeah, big up yourselves. And also, there's going to be a watch along for Sunday's game. I think Colm and I can't remember who else is doing it, but they're doing a stream on Sunday, a live stream of the match. So guys, make sure you tune into that. They've been really good fun to watch. The channels are growing, everyone's happy, but as the community goes, this is the big one, isn't it? This is one of the big ones. Arsenal United, United Agenda versus the Armoury. Boy, oh boy, yeah, it doesn't get much bigger. But Lex, we're gonna wrap up there, bruv, because yeah, we could be here all night. But Arsenal, like, this is the one. Please, just give me this victory. Please, 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 please. And let me come and see Mr. Bean next week with a smile on my face like this here.
Get them 3 points.
Pure teeth. Yeah, man. Big game. Big game.
Yes.
Big game. But yeah, on that note, guys, Lex, it's been a pleasure having you back on, bruv.
Yes, likewise, Gumsa.
Yeah. And Mr. B, we'll catch you soon. He's saying big up the green bugs. It's all love out here. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. Have a great evening, and we'll see you all Sunday.
Love.